welcome to the Five Arms and the Lucky Finn podcast. I am your host, Brendan McCormick Whip. My partners in picks, David Diesel Soloway and Jason Ide Easy Money. Happy holidays, guys.
Yes, sir.
No,
It's
sir.
almost Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Just cashed that Arms Forces money line bet right there. How do y'all feel?
Brendan? Did you, Brendan?
No, I did not. I did not take them.
As someone who does not support the troops,
Doesn't support the troops.
I support the troops.
I cashed that though. I cashed it. Put $43 on it.
Cash.
He literally put his money where his mouth is.
Yes, sir.
He literally did. You are correct, Jay. You are correct. This episode, I'm talking about part 2, Bowl Picks Spectacular. We've had a lot of correct picks this year, so pretty happy about that.
A lot of incorrect picks.
We're
A
doing
lot
all
of
right.
correct picks, though. We're doing all right.
All right.
We're doing all right. Excited to dive right into it. So for our first game on the December 26th, we have New Mexico State against Bowling Green. New Mexico State is plus 3.5, 147 on the money line. Me and David are rolling with Bowling Green, but Jay disagrees. Tell us why.
I do disagree. So it's funny. When I first originally saw the spreads, when the spreads all came out for the bowl games, this was 2.5 to Bowling Green, and now it is 3.5 as of a couple hours ago. I thought it was interesting that it went more towards Bowling Green because when I was making a decision on who I wanted to pick in this game, because obviously this is a game where none of us probably watch any of these games. New Mexico State is 7-5.
Disagree.
Come on, dude. Action.
I'm sorry. Bowling Green is 4-7-1 against the spread. New Mexico State is 7-5. New Mexico State has won 5 of their last 6, and all 5 of those are they covered the spread as well. Meanwhile, your boys in the Maction have lost 2 of their last 3, and their win was against Toledo by 7 when they were plus 14.5.
So Toledo also had a backup quarterback in that game.
Oh, so doesn't that make it worse?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So also, when I go look at the stats part of it, offensively and defensively, even though New Mexico State probably doesn't play very much great competition, their percentages are still much better. They're 80% scoring in the red zone compared to 75% of Bowling Green, and their opponent red zone scoring is where they falter. So I'm thinking a higher scoring game. I'm thinking a lot of third down conversions, and I'm going to stick with New Mexico State on this, that they're going to at least cover. But I actually would pick them to win.
All great points.
Thank you.
But here's the thing. New Mexico State had a game canceled in October against San Jose State because San Jose State had a member of their team who was tragically killed. New Mexico State probably would have lost that game, which would have made them 5-7. Instead, they were able to schedule a game the day of Conference Championship weekend against Valpo, an FCS team who does not support a football program.
Hey,
they don't even really give scholarships.
My brother did go to that school too, so let's not talk too much trash about that school.
But Valpo does not support their football program. I know someone that used to work at that athletic department. They do not support their football program.
Basketball program's a different story. That is a great mid-major program.
I was about to say, if this was NCAA football, they'd be FCS Midwest.
Yes, exactly.
They would be.
And so New Mexico State does not belong in a bowl game, especially over the likes of other great 5-7 teams, such as, can't name any, but other 5-7 teams.
Oh, go ahead. Name some.
Literally can't name any. Yeah, they just don't belong here. And Bowling Green earned a spot in the bowl, unlike New Mexico State. And that's why I'm riding with my Falcons of Bowling Green.
100%. Great university also.
Great city, too.
Great city.
They got a really good pizza place there. Don't remember what it's called. Really good pizza place.
We should definitely all catch a game there. I think it's a great university. And I love the MACtion. If there is one conference on this podcast that I want to support more than any other conference, it's the MAC.
Mm-hmm.
It's 100% the MAC conference. There are some sleepers on there. All right, I'm telling you.
I mean, the MAC so far in bowl games, they're performing pretty well, right? Miami, Ohio lost. That was the first bowl game of bowl season. But then we had Eastern Michigan beat San Jose State. Toledo beat Liberty. I guess that's all we've got so far, but we're 2-1. The MACtion's 2-1.
It's pretty solid. It's pretty
You're
solid.
You're going to bet against MACtion when they're 2-1? No chance.
I am. That's
no,
that's why we're having this argument.
No, you shouldn't.
Bowling Green all day. On to the next one. We have Georgia Southern against Buffalo. Buffalo is plus 3.5, plus 145 on the money line. I think I said a different money line stat. So yeah, Buffalo is plus 145. Bowling Green New Mexico State was plus 147. So just to clarify, but totals at 66.5. Jay, you disagree with us again, man.
Hey, going against the MAC again.
I'm always going against the MAC, obviously, apparently.
I don't understand it.
My dad went to OU, so, I root for OU. But, I got to go against the MAC. Again, I'm pretty sure there are reasons. I mean, I made this pick a while back. I like to go by recency games, even though that potentially could be a little recency bias. But that wouldn't make a difference in this one because both of these teams have been trash of late. So then I went and looked at the stats.
Oh, stats.
Okay. So Georgia Southern gives up a lot of yards per play. They also put up a lot of yards per play, 6.1 yards per play on offense. They give up 6.7. But the thing that I took into consideration here was their passing percentage. They pass 62% of the time, while Buffalo runs 52.6% of the time. The reason I think that this is a big deal, and the reason I say that is because it seems like Georgia Southern's passing defense is worse than their run defense because they give up 60% completion to opponents, which means their opponents are going to have to pass the ball, or if they want to win, in my opinion. So I took that as I'm going with Georgia Southern. Their third down percentage is 45% compared to Buffalo's 35%, and I also thought that was a big deal. Their red zone scoring is about the same, so I went with Georgia Southern.
Yeah, Georgia Southern also had a huge victory over Nebraska earlier this year. They've got a former Power 5 coach at the helm in Clay Helton. But how are you going to bet against the MAC?
I'm just always going to go against the MAC, especially when the game is in Alabama and it's right near Georgia Southern.
Yeah, don't care.
I mean, I know it doesn't matter because I just picked New Mexico State and Detroit.
You think Buffalo's not happy to get away from the lake effect snow?
Oh, no, they're going to be very happy.
This is another team. People might call me a hypocrite because of what I said about the last game. Buffalo also had a game rescheduled, and they played it during conference championship week, and they had to win it to go do a bowl game. But they played the opponent they were supposed to play in the postponed game because of lake effect snow. Remember when the Bills game got moved to Detroit? It was that weekend. Buffalo was supposed to play at home against Akron. It got moved until conference championship weekend. So yeah, you might call me a hypocrite, but
they only won by one.
That's fine. You also might call me a MAC supporter. And if I have to die on the cross of being a MAC supporter, so be it.
Absolutely agree.
That's fine.
100% agree with you. I don't have anything to add. You just can't bet against the MAC. It's like it's the golden rule. It's the golden rule on this podcast.
Oh well, I always break that golden rule
until we get to the Ohio game later.
Yeah, I had Eastern Michigan when we talked about that. So yeah,
you did have Eastern Michigan. You broke that down very well. Shout out.
So shout out. I just broke these ones down and wait and see what that happens.
We'll see what happens.
How I broke it down.
Oh, I love the way you broke it down. Bet on the MAC.
Got another game. 3:15 Eastern Time. Memphis against Utah State. Utah State is plus 7.5. Plus 250 on the money line. Totals at 60.5. Rolling with Memphis. Powerful offense. Doesn't play a lick of defense. All they do is score. That's how they're going to win.
I agree. Utah State's third down percentage is only 34% compared to Memphis's 45%. Red zone scoring, Utah State's only 75% compared to Memphis's 88%. So, yeah, that was the sole reason. I think they're going to score more points, and I think they're going to score a lot. Over? Question mark?
Definitely bet the over. It's 60.
Yeah. And it's in Dallas, so it's probably, hopefully it gets warmer by then. It's supposed to be in the 60s next week, so.
60s.
I don't thank
Yeah,
God.
that sounds nice. It's about to be -6 here tonight.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Stay warm.
So
Stay
painful.
warm, guys. Stay warm.
Yeah, great. Yeah, I don't have a whole lot of insight on this game. I basically, what's happening? What are you doing? Dog. Okay. You guys.
Yeah, dog.
Yeah, dogs? Utah State dog?
Can you hear him?
No.
Okay, good.
Not really.
All right, cool. He might be dying. That's all right. We'll deal with it later.
Hoosier?
Yeah, that's my guy Hoosier. Memphis. Like you guys said, they can't stop anyone. They don't really play defense. Now, you might say Utah State, not the greatest offense this year. But I think a lot of those numbers are kind of skewed from early season. They played Bama, lost 55-0. I mean, when you play Bama as a Mountain West school, what are you expecting? So
apparently those three guys that put $1,000 on them to win the national title, they believed.
They believe. And that's what I was going to say next. Utah State ended last season really well. They played in the LA Jimmy Kimmel Bowl or whatever the hell it was. And they beat a Power 5 team in Oregon State 24-13. So they've got the talent there, They've got the talent. And so I'm going to go with my brethren in Utah and go with the Aggies here.
Not a good pick.
Okay.
Not a good pick. Not a good pick. On next one, we have a 6:45 p.m. Eastern Time kick. We have Coastal Carolina against East Carolina. East Carolina.
East Carolina. There we go.
East Carolina. Yeah. Plus 7.5. Coastal Carolina is plus 7.5, plus 270 on the money line. Totals at 62.5. David going against Jason and I again. We believe in Coastal. Not sure who's in or out for these games. I could not tell you. There's a lot of people for a lot of teams that aren't playing.
So I was going to ask you guys, why Coastal? Because just a couple things. They lost their coach to Liberty, and their star quarterback, Grayson McCall, is in the transfer portal and not playing.
Did that happen before our last podcast?
I believe so, yeah.
I think so.
It happened a while ago.
I think I didn't know about it when we had talked about it, and I think I left my pick the same when because I had already did them all.
State too, and the next slate has a lot of players out.
Yeah, a lot of players out in a lot of these games with.
This is what has ruined college football though, is the transfer portal.
Yeah,
they should have done it after the bowl games. I don't know.
I do know. I went with this one because I like when bowl games are close proximity teams. So Coastal in East Carolina, I know Coastal's in South Carolina, and Myrtle Beach. I like to think that they're going to be really close games, and the 7.5 was over a touchdown. So I went with Coastal. That's actually, I think, the only thought that I had on this because both of their statistics are similar.
Yeah, I mean that's fair. The only reason I went with ECU is they played NC State really close in week 1. If you guys remember that game, I believe the extra point was blocked. It was 21-20. NC State was supposed to be one of the breakout teams going into this year.
Yeah.
They played Tulane decently close, 24-9, low scoring game. Not close, but kept it respectable. beat Memphis in a shootout, beat UCF 34-13, beat BYU 27-24. I just think ECU's got more of a they just have better wins than Coastal, and part of that's playing in a better conference. But I think just with the talent that ECU has shown this year, they seem to be in a program on the rise. And with Coastal losing their coach, I'm sure a ton of other players other than the quarterback. I just have more faith in the stability of East Carolina.
That's actually really fair. Valid points.
Very valid.
You know what I just thought about?
What?
Remember Coastal used to be in the Big South? Gosh, that's insane.
Yeah.
How far some college
They were
programs
FCS just probably 6 years ago?
Dude, I feel like half of the Sun Belt was in FCS a few years ago.
Yeah, it's actually true.
James Madison just came over.
Yep.
Next game, we have a kick at 10:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We have Wisconsin against Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State's plus 3.5, plus 145 on the money line. Totals at 43. We are all on Oklahoma State. Spencer Sanders is not playing, so I do not know who's even at quarterback for this team. Wisconsin, though, I believe lost a lot of players. Over 40, was it?
Yeah, they've lost most of their team.
I think same for Oklahoma State, though, too, right?
I don't think Oklahoma State's lost as much because they didn't lose their coach, so they haven't lost
True.
a huge core of players. Whereas Wisconsin both lost their coach and their interim coach is not staying on. Wisconsin does not have Graham Mertz, who was their quarterback. He just committed to Florida.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah, he just committed to Florida a couple days ago. So I'm going to go with Mike Gundy here, honestly.
Yeah.
Mike Gundy plus 3.5 against a team that doesn't have a starting quarterback and has an interim coach who's leaving. That's about all I've got.
That's the angle that I took as well.
I'm surprised they're a dog.
Yeah. I felt the same way.
Money line? Oklahoma State money line?
Dude, I did that one time. Remember when I was hammering Oklahoma State money line and they lost to Kansas State 48-0?
I do remember that.
I'm probably going to take the 3.5 here instead of the money line.
Always take the points.
Yeah, because that would have really helped you in that 48-0 game.
Yes.
Always take the points. Next game is on Wednesday, December 28th. We have Central Florida against Duke. Central Florida is plus 3, totals at 62.5. 140 on the money line for Central Florida. Jay, why are you going against this?
Duke's 8-4 against the spread. UCF 7-6. Duke's won. Duke has covered 5 of their last 6.
Dare I say, could this be a push?
Central Florida hasn't covered in their last 3, and they've also lost 2 of their last 3. Not that that's a huge deal because Duke's only won 2 of their last 3. But Duke also is coming in off of a win against Wake Forest, who's a good program. Central Florida got blown out against Tulane, which Tulane's really good. But then they also had lost to Navy when they were 14.5-point favorites. So I went with Duke, and also I can't root for Central Florida. They think they won a national title.
They go undefeated.
They also played Duke played North Carolina really well. Duke plays good teams well.
Yeah, they got a good coach. B, I want to hear what you have to say about this game before I go in on the Duke Blue Devils.
It's going to push. I'm telling you. This game is going to push. I like the over. If I were to bet this game, I would bet the over. I think Central Florida is going to put up a lot of points. They don't play defense either. I always look forward to the game Central Florida against Memphis every year because it's just a high-scoring affair. There is 0 defense played in that game. That's all I got.
All right. Here's the thing. As an Indiana football fan, I cannot bet on Duke in a bowl game. And here's the reason why. In 2015, I worked for the Indiana football program, went to New York for the Pinstripe Bowl. IU against
Shout
Duke.
out.
I mean, exactly 7 years ago right now, I was in New York City. It was 70 degrees every day. Beautiful, beautiful. Just the greatest vacation I've ever been on. And here's what happened. The Duke Blue Devils stole a win from Indiana. And here's how they did it. They paid off the refs. And so they might do the same thing again. We don't know. It's a private school. They can do whatever they want with their money. That's how Coach K got away with all this BS over the past 50 years. So they're probably going to pay off the refs in this game. But you know what? I don't stand for that. I stand for integrity. And that's why I will never bet on the Duke Blue Devils. They made Simi Cobbs drop that pass from Mitchell Page on the wide receiver pass. Your guy, Mitchell Page.
They made him?
They made him. They made him drop it. They put some stuff on his gloves. And then in overtime, Indiana allows a field goal to Duke. You know, field goal. All right, we'll go down and score. We'll get a touchdown. We'll win the game.
Did Indiana get paid off too?
No.
Oh.
No. Indiana goes to kick a field goal to tie the ball game. And you know what? The field goal goes right over the upright, just directly over the upright, which is a field goal. It's just in the rule book, that's just a field goal. And the ref said, no.
Actually, over half of the ball has to cross.
No, that's the NFL. That's the NFL. Rules different in college.
What is it in college?
That's interesting.
In college, it just has to meet the plane of
Vertically?
the goalpost to the sky. And
Jay is looking this up.
You're right. I am. I want to watch this.
I mean, it just went directly over.
It's a pinstripe ball.
Every single angle said it went directly over the field goal post. And they said, no chance.
Dude,
No
you know what
chance.
it reminds me of?
Gave us money. We're not letting IU tie this game. What?
When the Cubs could have won a World Series too. Steve Bartman.
Well, that was a fan. It's too. You know what? You're right, Brendan. Though it's too bad I didn't go down on that field. It's too bad I didn't go down on that field and kick the field goal. I would have made it. We were going straight down the middle. But you know, I don't want to sit here and talk bad about my guy Griffin Oakes, one of the greatest kickers.
What I was about to say. He is one of the
guy kicked a 62-yarder against Maryland in his freshman year. Can't talk bad about that guy. That field goal was good.
He was a hell of a
This ball went right over the goalpost.
That's what I'm saying. Directly over the goalpost. And they looked at it a million times and said, no chance. That didn't go over the goalpost.
I have one more thing to look up.
And so to wrap all this back, Duke has a different coach now, but they're still the same university, and you cannot trust them. And so, yeah, they might pay off the refs, but I will not bet on them. It's all about integrity here.
Love the take. I love that take. As Jay is looking this up, I will go to the next one.
I got it.
Okay.
NCAA football rules. If a legal field goal attempt passes over the crossbar between the uprights and is dead beyond the end line or is... Hold on. Let me restart that.
Jason, you don't have to look this up.
No. I just want to know. The crossbars and uprights are treated as a line, not a plane.
Yes. It's a line.
Up to the sky. It goes up to the moon. The moon.
The moon. I'm going to snip at that. The moon.
It goes up to the moon, and that ball crossed between the top of the goalpost and the moon. It went right in between those two.
All right, we got to move on to Kansas and Arkansas. I love the take.
There will be more IU talk coming. Don't worry.
Absolutely. At 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time, we have Kansas against Arkansas. Kansas is +3, plus 125 on the money line. Totals at 69. I took Arkansas. I personally, the only reason why I took Arkansas is because I believe this Kansas team is dead.
I
After
agree.
they went 5-0, they have fallen apart. But
It's
so
also
is
hard.
Arkansas.
So it's still
So-
hard to root against the SEC, though.
Yeah, that's what that was my angle exactly, Jay. So
I'm right there with you. David, you want to explain yourself?
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of with you guys. In that Kansas really fell off after the first 5 games, but their schedule also got tougher. And Kansas, we weren't expecting Kansas to be this great team. Like they got ranked off of a pretty bad schedule, right?
yes.
Arkansas in their last 4 games this year lost to Liberty at home. Then they played LSU close. They beat Ole Miss, who, as we've talked about, incredibly fraudulent.
Fraudulent.
We'll talk about it.
Put them in prison.
And then they lost to Missouri, who, Jason, I know you especially have hated on Missouri a lot this year.
We've talked about Missouri a lot, especially in that Auburn game.
Yeah.
That was pain.
So, like, I just don't really think Arkansas is that great. Plus, I don't think they have as much to play for as Kansas here. I think that Kansas is using this bowl game as a way to what's the word? What word am I looking for?
I have
not
no
promote,
idea.
but
I'm
like
interested.
It's definitely
Like-
promote the program.
promote the program, but like push it forward. You know, they're
Yeah.
trying to expand on this season.
Solidify that this is not a fluke.
Exactly. Yes, they're trying to show that this is a real thing. Build on it next year. Whereas Arkansas, it's kind of like, oh, we were ranked in the top 10 early, and we went 6-6, and now we're in the Liberty Bowl in Memphis against Kansas. Why do we want to be here?
Exactly.
Because you don't
That's a
want to
great
get
angle.
embarrassed by Kansas.
So, yeah, I mean, I would never bet this game, and I don't know what's happening in our spreadsheet, but someone erased my pick, and I don't
that was
see
me.
that.
You said you were halfway with us, so I took each
Oh,
slash
I don't
of an
like
X.
that. I don't
and
like
put,
that.
Put it at each box.
I'm betting on Kansas here. I think it's going to be a 2-point ball game.
That was me.
It's going to be 28-26. Go ahead and bet the final score.
Dang. That's an odd word score, too. Awkward. And odd. It's odd word.
Yes.
I'm sticking with it. My new math term.
We have an interesting matchup in the next one. Pac-12 against ACC. We have Oregon against North Carolina. North Carolina is plus 14.5, 460 in the money line. Totals at 73.
It's a lot of points.
Go Heels. I took the points in this one specifically because I felt like 14.5 was way too much to give to North Carolina.
That's a lot of points. You got the quarterback of the future, the quarterback of right now.
Yeah.
I'm going with the points too. I like this matchup. I think it's going to be a good game.
I do too. I expect this to be a 10-7 game.
Watch it be
Whoever
more
wins.
like 73 is a lot. And I don't know I know there are a lot of games that are high over unders where they still go over, but I feel like this is one of those ones where it could be showing up to be a big shootout and then it just becomes a big defensive game.
I'm surprised the Ole Miss and Texas Tech is at 70 in the next one, but that's even.
Oh wow,
similar.
yeah. But I'm with you. I got North Carolina.
Yeah.
Yeah, again, I see where you guys are coming from. I half agree.
Oh, should we
You
switch
got
it?
to take the
Should we
A.
switch it?
You know
But
you're
here's
betting hard deep.
How are
down.
you halfway agreeing on a 14.5 point spread?
Because he knows it's too many points deep
No.
down, but he doesn't want to take them.
That's the thing is it's a lot of points for where UNC was earlier in the year. But
Absolutely.
UNC finished out the year really poorly. Their last 3 games they lost to not to UNC. They are UNC. They lost to Georgia Tech at home 21-17.
loss.
Then they lost to
That was
NC
bad.
State without Devin Leary at home 30-27. Then they lost to Clemson in the ACC championship game 39-10. And so their momentum isn't really in the greatest spot right now. I
Young
believe
quarterback.
I believe 4 of their top 4 corners are out for this game. They're sitting out. And so I'm going to bet on Bo Nix. He's coming back for a 12th year, and I think that he's going to try to ride this into next year, keep the momentum alive.
Is he coming back?
He is coming back.
They had a great recruiting class on signing day yesterday, Wednesday. And I think they're just in a really good spot right now. So I'll ride with Bo Nix.
Is Bo Nix 25 or 26?
Neither. I think he's 23.
He's older.
He's 22.
Bo Nix will be a
Wow.
first-round pick next year. Watch.
He might be.
He's the next Zach Wilson.
Terrible quarterback. On to the next one, we have Texas Tech against Ole Miss.
He could be.
Maybe. Texas Tech is plus 3.5, 145 on the money line. Totals at 70. I'm on the Red Raiders. I'm fading this Ole Miss team. I'm fading them. I don't think Texas Tech is much better. I think 70 for a Texas Tech team offense that is a little fraudulent. I would take the under that game. My opinion. In fact, I might bet that. That is way too many points.
Does anyone know who's starting at quarterback for Ole Miss?
I don't think it matters.
I don't think it does either.
But no, I don't. Do you?
No.
I don't.
I'm not seeing anybody on their injury report.
Well,
Did someone leave or something?
Altmaier's transferring, and he was their starter.
Yeah, I honestly don't think it matters because
Oh no, he wasn't the starter. Jackson Dart was. Is Jackson Dart injured though? I thought
he's not on the injury report. There's only two people
for
on the
some
injury report.
reason. For some reason, they weren't going to be with their starter.
Either way,
looks like Jackson Dart will play. My bad.
Yeah,
My bad.
I went with the team that's gonna put up more points in this game, and I also believe that I'm gonna pick the SEC over anybody else if it's a close spread. It's just hard not to.
Yeah, I don't blame you. SEC is a great conference.
I changed my pick. Go Ole Miss.
Oh my god!
Not frauds for the bowl game.
No, they're fraudulent, but Texas Tech.
They're SEC
team.
fraudulent.
Yeah,
they're not fraudulent against other people. They were 7-0 to start the year.
On to the next matchup, Thursday, December 29th, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time kick. We have Syracuse against Minnesota. Syracuse is plus 9.5, plus 280 on the money line. Totals at 42. We are all on the Golden Gophers. The betting gods will tell you to take the 9.5. Can't take that. Can't take the 9.5. Not enough.
No. Syracuse has really just fallen off.
100%.
There was no reason to take them in this game. I don't even see a reason to. Also, this is the Pinstripe Bowl, so this is a big one for the Big Ten after that 2015 downfall.
Yeah, I mean, Jason just couldn't be more right on that. The Big Ten's looking for revenge against the ACC here from that 2015 loss, and I think that Minnesota's gonna go ahead and hand it to the Orange of Syracuse.
Wow, you don't want to know it's something cool? Wait, what?
Go Golden Gophers.
I was going to say, you want to know something that's weird? Minnesota has won 5 straight bowl games, and Syracuse has won 4 straight bowl games. This should be fun.
Battle of the winning streaks.
So
we have a terrible matchup at 5:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We have Oklahoma against Florida State. Oklahoma's plus 9, plus 280 on the money line. I don't like either of these teams. I just went ahead and took Oklahoma, even though Oklahoma has a bunch of people transferring out, I believe. So does Florida State.
How do you even pick some of these bowl games because of all of that? I just went and took the points.
That's what I did too. Don't have much else to talk about this one.
Yeah, hard to tell. I just went with Florida State because they are a program on the rise, and
yes,
a lot of their players, Oklahoma is not.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I like it. I like that angle. 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time kick. We have Texas against Washington. Washington's plus 4, plus 150 on the money line. Is Michael Penix playing?
Yeah, dude. He's coming back.
Is he
He's
really?
coming back too?
Yeah.
I don't think he has a choice, dude. Not a lot of teams are looking for quarterbacks in the NFL right now, and the ones that are going to pick them in like the top 10. And that's going to be it.
And they're definitely not looking for a lefty.
No.
Or a guy with 2 former ACL tears.
We got to fade Texas, right? B.J. Robinson he's out, I imagine.
Wait, I thought his name was is it pronounced Bijan? Bijan?
Bijan.
But I call him BJ.
Bijan.
No, I know BJ actually sounds pretty cool. Bijan.
I like it. Yeah.
BJ, yeah.
Bijan's not playing.
And,
I figured that.
And you can't go with Texas.
No, can't go with Texas.
No, you're going to bet against Michael Penix and Kalen Bohr in a bowl game. Come on.
I want to bet this game just to force myself to watch Michael Penix.
This is Michael Penix's first bowl game ever.
It is. Wow.
He made 2. He was the starter in 2 bowl seasons. Never made it to the bowl game.
Was that the one where they were really good and then he got hurt the second time?
First time they were 8-4.
Yeah.
Played Tennessee in the some bowl in Florida. Don't remember which one. He was
I thought you said the Sun Bowl. I was like, "There's."
I will say this.
The other one, Tuttle started.
Michael Penix was one of the best quarterbacks IU has had in a long time.
Disagree. In a long time?
Not a long time, but since our boy Sudfeld.
Sudfeld was 3 years before that.
Okay.
Also, IU great Peyton Ramsey doesn't get enough respect.
No, he does not. He does not.
It's crazy.
Love to have him on the pod someday.
I've never heard of either of these names that you guys are.
Have you ever heard of Nate Sudfeld?
Nate Sudfeld. Oh yeah, I know him.
Okay.
I didn't know he went to IU.
What about Dick Lego?
Who?
Dick Lego?
You did say Lego. Okay, I just
Dick
wanted to make sure.
Lego.
Yeah.
From Texas.
The more you say it, doesn't make it start making sense.
What about if I tell you he wore number 21?
He did.
Oh yes, the only person I know that wore 21 or any odd number in football was Dick Lego. Duh. No, I don't know who that is.
Oh, I love my guy Dick.
Now I'm gonna Google him.
Please do. And my perfect wide receiver.
Am I
You're
making
forgetting
this
him,
up?
David. Are you forgetting him already?
Mitchell Page?
Mitchell Page.
I just talked about him earlier. He threw that dime to Simi Cobbs in the end zone of the Pinstripe Bowl, and Simi just decided to drop it.
I could talk about that team so much. That was a hell of a team. And then who was the 280-pound kicker Penn State had that one year?
Oh, I forgot about that guy.
I have a photo of him still on my phone.
Did he not have the most Italian name ever?
It was.
Wasn't it an Italian? What was this? We gotta find this guy.
I was just about to make a joke and say Randy Bullock.
Joey Julius, wasn't it?
Oh, Joey Julius. That's not Italian. Damn. Yeah, that's him though.
That
was definitely him.
Brendan, what did you search to find this guy?
I just said Penn State kicker, and he was the first.
Oh, that's what you said? Damn. I look bad after that.
David, when you said Dick Lego, like D-I-C-K?
His name was Richard Lego.
Oh, yeah, because if you type in Dick Lego on Google, it starts not showing up a person named Dick Lego.
This dude was a force.
And Lego was spelled L-A-G-O-W.
Yeah. Was it?
Yeah. He threw for 600 yards against Wake Forest one year.
The search just completely changed. And then it says, did you mean Dick Lego without the W? No, I didn't. I meant with the W. Thank you.
Oh, that's incredible.
Oh, wow. He has a school named after him? Did you know that?
A school?
There is a Richard Lego Elementary School in Dallas.
Hell yeah, good for him.
Did not know that.
Well, in this game against Wake Forest, he threw for 496. 3 touchdowns, 5 interceptions in a loss.
Dude, how old is he?
I mean, now probably 27?
You think I can find him on Twitter?
My age.
How does this man have a whole school named after him? already.
That has to be named after his father.
Oh, is his father's name Richard Lago?
I don't know, but there's no way an elementary
Is it
school in Dallas is named after
LGGO?
my guy Dick Lego. Also, the kids at that elementary school are definitely calling the elementary school Dick Lego, right?
Probably.
Yeah, okay. Cool. All right, we can move on anytime. I'm glad we went down memory lane with my guy Dick.
I'm trying to find him off Mitchell Page's who's Mitchell Page following.
Mitchell Page recently went to a Duke game. Hate to see it.
That's a disgrace. All right. Friday, December 30th.
I think it was his dad.
Yeah, had to be.
Friday, December 30th, we have Maryland against NC State. NC State and Maryland is a pick-em. Totals at 47.5. I couldn't take Maryland.
David, we were just talking about how NC State actually ended up playing well down the stretch. How are you going with Maryland?
Big Ten.
Yeah, I mean, you could say they played well. You could also say in the last 3 weeks they lost to Boston College at home, and then they lost to Louisville. So you could go either way on that. I'll go with the actual starter. My guy Tua raised an awesome younger brother. You just can't bet against Talia here. So I'll take the Maryland Terrapins.
I love when you say you absolutely can't, and then immediately I'm like, no, that's not what I have.
No, the pod is officially following Mitchell Page.
Let's go. I hope he follows us back. Let's go, Mitchell. Let's get Mitchell on the pod. He'd know. No, he would know. He would not know me.
Dude, if Mitchell Page came on this podcast, I would buy an Indiana jersey with his name on it.
Oh, I already have one.
I will get one myself.
I'll send it to you, Jay.
Am I putting Dick Lego on the back?
No, you'd have to wear number 21 for that.
Oh, yeah. What number was Mr. Page?
Brendan?
Oh, you guys don't know? Are you even real fans?
Come on, don't look it up.
87.
David.
87?
Wasn't
it? That sounds right, yeah. That sounds right. Yeah, he was 87.
Absolutely. I'll message him tomorrow.
All right, cool.
I just went with NC State just because I went on the it's funny because some games I look at the stats hard, but it's normally when it's teams that I don't really pay attention to. But I watched both these teams a couple of times. Actually, I don't know why I picked NC State. I don't know. I hate this game. I'm not even going to watch this game. That's how angry it makes me right now thinking about it. I'm over it.
Yeah, fair.
On to the next one at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We have Pittsburgh against UCLA. Pittsburgh's plus 3.5, plus 152 on the money line. Totals at 54. I really didn't know how to handicap this one. I took UCLA because better program.
Yeah, same. I assume DTR's playing this game.
I don't think he is.
I don't think he is. That's why I went with Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I don't think he is.
Why would he not?
He's got to go to the draft or transfer.
Dude, you'd think that it would actually help his case if he played.
He actually has not said either way. It says this article I'm looking at says he stays mum on Sun Bowl status.
Mum.
He's not playing.
Mum.
I think it would help his case to play though.
I do too, but I don't think he will.
Yeah, either way, UCLA is a much better program. I agree.
Yeah, I went with Pittsburgh.
So many bowl games, man. It's crazy. A lot of bowl games. We have Notre Dame against South Carolina in the next one. South Carolina's plus 2, plus 112 on the money line. Totals at 51.5. We are all on the Gamecocks. Better program. SEC. Notre Dame is
better program?
Better program, but I don't think it's a better team.
Better. You think? Well, hold on. You think South Carolina is a better program as a whole than Notre Dame?
No, absolutely not. I'm just saying.
Okay.
No,
South
I think he
Carolina
was
is a
saying
better
the other. I
team
think
than
he was
yeah.
saying the other way around.
Other way. Okay.
I was
team,
confused too. I
program.
thought he was saying the same thing. I was like, wait, what?
Okay.
Better
All right.
team, not better program.
Sure.
You got to
Okay.
bet. We're betting teams here, numbers. So
I agree.
Yeah.
Also, South Carolina is one of the hottest teams in college football going into this.
Yep. Spencer
Rattler going to do his thing.
It sounds like he's going to go to the draft, but he wants to play anyway.
Rattler?
Which wouldn't hurt him, I guess, unless he plays really poorly, which is possible against the Notre Dame defense. But Notre Dame does not have a quarterback.
Nope.
They might run Wildcat the entire game.
What do you mean?
They don't have a quarterback on their roster who can start this game.
What happened? Where did their starter go?
Their original starters out for the year. Their backup transferred to Arizona State.
I'm so tired of all the transfers before the bowls.
It's hard to keep up. Like
I know.
There is a Twitter handle specifically for the transfer portal.
That's stressful.
Imagine
how do you
being
even
the guy that has that handle. I'm dead serious. I'm gonna look it up right now.
Dude, they had a record.
NCAA transfer portal.
They had like a bajillion players enter the portal this year. And then I saw a comic, like one of those, little story sketch comics, and it made a good point. It was like, oh, be third quarterback on this roster? No, I'm going to enter the portal. Now you're behind 300 quarterbacks.
105,000 followers. That's Twitter.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say 105,000 players in the portal.
That wouldn't shock me.
It wouldn't shock me either. Okay. Anyways, then I'm definitely going with South Carolina.
Yeah.
That reminds me of when LSU played Kansas State.
might
and a
bet
wide
that
receiver
game.
started at quarterback.
Oh,
Y'all remember that?
Yeah.
I do remember that too.
He played high school. He played quarterback in high school. Actually, at a school that I know.
Really?
I mean, it's Louisiana. Since I grew up there, it's kind of like y'all knowing schools in Indiana.
I know Jason's going to be watching this one for our next one. 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Kick. Ohio against Wyoming. Wyoming is +1. -103 on the money line. Totals at 43. Go Bobcats. Tell them, Jay.
Maction! I'm on it!
Okay.
I love the
At the end of the show, at the end of the podcast, he is on Maction.
I'm on Maction on this one. See, I pick and choose my battles. I don't pick all Maction. Just like I didn't pick all SEC because I know I did not pick Florida. I'm on the Maction here. My dad went to OU, got to root for Ohio. That's it.
That's all I got too. Go Maction. I ain't taking a Wyoming. It's a blizzard there right now.
And the easiest thing to say in this one, when it comes down to making a great argument, is that, are you going to bet against the Maction? I don't think anyone's ever said that, but I'm going to say it.
No.
Here's my only argument. Wyoming lost to Illinois this year 38-6 in week 0. Immediately after that, Illinois lost to Indiana. And that's all we have to say. Wyoming's not good.
No.
So basically what I'm hearing is if Indiana can beat you, then you suck.
Yeah. Yes, correct. Indiana could not beat Ohio. No chance.
No. Ohio's pretty good this year.
Yeah, they are.
We have a good, decent matchup. 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time kick, same day. Tennessee against Clemson. Tennessee is +6, +178 on the money line. Took the orange here. Took the Tennessee orange. I will not take the Clemson Tigers. I'm talking.
Can't say you just took an orange team in the Orange Bowl when both teams are orange.
Wait, this is so weird. I didn't even notice that.
What?
That it was the Orange Bowl with both teams being orange.
Is the Orange Bowl.
And then Brendan proceeded to say, I'm taking the orange.
I believe Clemson has 20 people transferring, if not more. Their quarterback's transferring in the transfer portal already.
Backup.
Backup is starting.
DJ got benched, so.
Yeah,
I know.
that's why he's transferring out.
Overrated.
He's not very good.
Always. Well, he's very inconsistent.
Hey, don't say that because we might get him at IU. So
there is no way.
That doesn't mean he's not good. That doesn't mean he's good.
Pipe
I
down
thought
a
he
little
was
bit
going
on
back
that.
to Hawaii.
He's not from Hawaii. He's from California.
I know, but I thought he would go back.
You think he's going to Hawaii, the University of Hawaii?
There's an article.
He's not going from Clemson to Hawaii.
There's an article I read.
All right, to be fair, his name does feel very Hawaiian-like.
He's of that ethnicity.
Descent.
From California.
He went to St. John Bosco.
I think the word is descent.
But anyway, let's just go to this game. So yeah, Clemson is starting the guy that they should have started all year. If they started Cade Klubnik, they'd probably go 12-0. I think we can all agree on that, right?
I don't know.
But DJ's proven that he's not the guy over the past 2 years.
No, he's not
correct.
the guy.
No,
so if you put in another guy who's able to actually move the offense, they probably don't lose.
6 though, Dave.
Yeah, but they're not gonna go. They're not gonna go 12-0 when you have to play the Spencer Rattler.
I mean, what? They were up 14-0 in that game after a pick 6 early.
A lot of game left.
They should have won.
A lot of game left.
If they won that game, they'd be in the playoff right now. As crazy as that is, they lost by 1 point. If they win by 1 point, they're in instead of Ohio State.
Oh my gosh, they really are. That is insane.
And I had a $175 bet on Clemson to make the playoffs, so not salty about it at all. But that's all right.
You lost $175 on that, David. That's 2 dog beds.
It is about 2 dog beds. You're so right. You're so right. I could have bought 2 dog beds.
Instead, you gotta get salty about them losing to South Carolina.
But anyway, Clemson's starting the guy who should have started all year. Even if they are losing 20 players to the portal, every program's losing 20 players. Clemson at least has the depth to step up into those positions, whereas other programs don't, including Tennessee. Don't know how many guys Tennessee's lost, but I know they have a bunch of guys sitting out.
That's a lot, yeah.
Especially Jalen Hyatt, who was probably the best receiver in the country this year.
Correct.
So I'm going to go ahead and roll with Clemson. They've got a better proven track record, and as I said, I think more depth than Tennessee's going to have for this bowl game.
Also, it sucks that Tennessee's without Hooker too, because gosh, that dude was incredible all year. Yeah. I went with Tennessee for Hendon Hooker. No, I actually went with Tennessee because Brendan and I thought Vanderbilt was going to compete with him, and then they just went and wiped them without Hendon Hooker. So I said, you know what? I'm going to stick with Tennessee in this one on a 6-point spread as the dog.
Go Orange.
Hey, I do have something to say about this game. Both of these teams lost to South Carolina. If one of them
back-to-back weeks, huh?
Back-to-back weeks. If one of them wins, if either one of them wins, they're in the playoff right now. If both of them win, I think they're both in the playoff right now. I think TCU would be out.
South Carolina, the Heartbreakers.
I really think if both of them had won, it would be Georgia, Michigan, Clemson, Tennessee.
Wow. That's and then Brendan would say go Orange, and then I wouldn't know who he's going for.
He might be talking about Syracuse. We don't know.
He might be talking about the Orange Bowl because it would be 2 different teams.
He might just be rooting for the bowl game.
He might just like the color. He might just like the color.
Go Vols on New Year's Day, December 31st.
That's not New Year's Day.
Eve.
To be fair, it's late. It's late.
Man, really botched that one. Iowa against Kentucky. Plus 2.5. I don't like this game at all. Not going to watch it. Is Will Levis playing? Because if he's playing, I'm fading him, hoping he gets injured. Total's at 31. Like the under still. That's all I got.
I went with Kentucky. Yeah, I don't really have much to say other than Iowa has really tough time scoring. Their defense is solid. I expect a low scoring game in this one. But I'm gonna go with Kentucky as the dog. Honestly, I think this could be a 1-point game down the stretch.
Yeah, I agree. Both quarterbacks are dead ducks in this game. Kentucky brought in Devin Leary. Iowa brought in Cade McNamara from Michigan. So really no building toward the future here. I love the under. I only took Iowa because if Kentucky couldn't score with Will Levis and he's a top 10 pick, I don't see them scoring with a backup.
Anybody? Yeah.
Future Indianapolis Colt right there, Will Levis.
You better
you might be Anthony Richardson, top 10 pick.
You also better hope not.
Yeah, I'm with you. Spencer Rattler, 5th round.
That would be better than taking a first-round pick on Anthony Richardson.
Actually, Rattler would be a bad late pick if that's what you decide to go with.
No, he wouldn't. Yeah, I agree.
Also, did my lighting just get really dark there for a second? That was weird.
It did.
I felt weird.
Gotta stay warm. Gotta get that energy running. On to the next game, we have the Alabama Crimson Tide against Kansas State. Kansas State is plus 6.5, plus 205 on the money line. I took Alabama because it's a better conference. Whoever is sitting out or transferring for Alabama, they're going to have backups that can fill in. Not sure who's out for Kansas State. I love Alabama in this one. I love Alabama.
I was similar with the Alabama thing as far as their depth. It just almost doesn't matter who's sitting out for them. There's always someone to fill their spot. So that's why I went with Alabama. Although I would love to see Deuce Vaughn have a really good game.
If he's playing.
He is playing.
He is?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Kansas State, it seems like everyone's playing.
Even Martinez?
No, it'll be Will Howard. Even if Martinez was healthy, he's not the starter anymore. I think Kansas State is a program. Maybe. I think Kansas State's a program who is on the rise, looking to make another step up next year. So I think a lot of their players are going to be invested in this game, trying to build the program even further, especially the underclassmen. Whereas Bama, I mean, what do they have to gain? I know everyone's playing, like Bryce Young, Will Anderson are playing, but we'll see how invested they actually are.
Wait,
so I'll take points. Yeah, they're playing.
That makes me like them even more.
Yeah, but do they care? Like,
I don't think he'd be playing if he didn't care. Bryce Young's going to be a top 5 pick. He's probably the number 1 overall pick.
I think they're playing because Nick Saban said you're not sitting out.
Is this similar to how Duke paid off the refs? Is that
No. Nick Saban saying they're not paying out or not sitting out is
that facts?
That's actually facts. Whereas the Duke thing is up to some speculation.
Speculation, right. It's kind of like Tom Brady with his, balls against Indianapolis.
Yeah, when they won by like 65 points. That was
speculation. Oh gosh. I will say Deuce Vaughn is going to be the ultimate third down back in the NFL.
Well, he's going to be awesome wherever he ends up.
This is going to be good.
Excited to see him on Sundays. Very excited to see him on Sundays. For our next game, we have on January 2nd, we have Mississippi State against Illinois. Man,
is this New Year's Eve?
No, this is January 2nd.
I'm just kidding with you.
Okay. Lost our guy Mike Leach. Very influential coach. That's what really got me into college football. Because me and David would always bet the unders, and so the overs. I'm tired. It's the overs. We never really bet the unders. It's always the over. He was quite the character. Another podcast I listened to, Sports Gambling Podcast. Shout out Sean and Ryan. and those guys over there. Definitely recommend them. That's not a sponsor. I really do like their podcast. They're great dudes, and they know a lot about football and just sports in general, and just the podcast that they build over there. It's been really cool. They had them on the show, and it was just really cool to see whoever Mike Leach interacted with. You never felt like you never felt like you were alone. Like he genuinely cared. So I definitely thoughts and prayers to the Leach family, to Mississippi State. But it was awesome to see how Texas Tech honored him, Washington State, and just the coaches around the SEC. So.
Yeah, I mean, right around the time I was getting into betting, especially, like I've always been sort of a college football guy over NFL, but about the time I was getting into betting, Mike Leach was at Washington State leading those air raid offenses. And Brennan and I would always go back and forth. We're betting on the over this week. We're betting on the over. Mike Leach is going to go over this week. And, you know, he was a really influential guy on the game of college football. Like, not even college. If you look back 10, 15 years to what he was doing at Texas Tech with those air raid offenses, that has made its way throughout college football and even into the NFL. It's become so much more of a passing game, and he wasn't always like the throw it deep guy, but he was. We're gonna put 5 guys out wide, and we're gonna put them on some routes, and we're gonna find an open guy. The quarterback's gonna go through his progressions, and we're gonna find an open guy. And he really left an impact on the game of football that I think will be felt for decades to come. And so I think that it would be impossible to bet against Mississippi State here. And the legacy that Mike Leach left, not only on the game of football, but on fans everywhere. Like the day that we heard about his passing, I know the 3 of us kind of had a hard time with it. And it's really tough to see a sitting head coach of a Power 5 program pass away so suddenly. So I think that the Mississippi State players will be playing for him. They kept their head coach in-house. They just promoted their DC to head coach, and I think that they're going to really come out playing for Mike Leach. And the biggest thing here is, do you guys know where they're playing? They're playing in the Bucs Stadium, and there's a pirate ship in the end zone. And if there's one thing Mike Leach loved more than anything, it's pirates.
The Pirates.
And so
he was the pirate.
I don't see any way that Mike Leach isn't looking down upon these guys and making them win this game on that Monday.
I almost feel bad for Illinois that they have to do this.
Yeah.
That's my biggest thing, because, like, God, you just look like such a-holes if you win.
Yeah.
You got to root. Everybody in the whole world has got to be rooting for Mississippi State. I'm with y'all. Mike Leach is the professor of the air raid offense. He's one of the most influential coaches of our era. I was reading something. He's like top 3. It would be him for his air raid offense, Nick Saban for championships, and I can't remember who the third one was, but yeah. Rest in peace, Mike.
Hail State. Man, it's been tough not seeing that guy on the sideline. Man.
Love that guy.
On the next one, we have Tulane against USC. Tulane is plus 2.5, plus 115 on the money line. Totals at 62. I'm on the Trojans here. Gonna switch my pick. I'll do a little switcheroo here. USC, a lot of people are sitting out, and Williams isn't playing. I did not factor a lot of that in.
Jordan Addison's, sitting out as well.
Tulane probably does not have that many people sitting out. I guess the only angle you could take with USC would be they probably have the depth to fill in. Tulane probably has players out as well, though.
I don't know that USC really has a lot of depth, honestly. I think Tulane's defense was one of the best defenses in football this year, weren't they? I mean, that team is, and also they have leadership. And Tulane's going to travel well to Dallas.
Yeah.
One thing I will say here is the last update we've got is that Caleb Williams is planning on playing.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So we'll see if he's actually healthy enough, because if he's not, I'm sure they'll tell him, you just got to sit out this game. But either way, I really like Tulane. They've got a really good defense. They're a really good Group of 5 program, and I think they've got a lot more to play for here than USC does.
11-2 against the spread this year, and we also had picked them a lot this year whenever we talked about them.
Yep.
Go Tulane. Hall, this next one. 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, January 2nd. We have the LSU Tigers against the team in Western Indiana. I'll say their name, whatever, Purdue, but we do not say that name on this podcast. The team West Indiana is plus 14.5, plus 460 on the money line. The Tigers minus 14.5, minus 600 on the money line. Totals at 55.5. Go Tigers! Jay, break it down.
Yeah, you can't root against the Tigers here. Purdue just honestly is one of those most inconsistent college football teams of all time, especially this year. I think LSU really turned it on late in the year. They got really hot in SEC play. Their third down percentage is 46.5. Purdue's is 38. LSU's key to victory here. Do not turn the ball over to give Purdue any kind of momentum, because I do believe LSU is going to start better. They just cannot let them stay around in this game. I think 14.5 is a lot, and this moved up because it was 10 when it opened up, 9.5. I still like LSU, and I don't know if somebody's sitting out for Purdue. I don't know if y'all know that or not, but man, this is a great opportunity for LSU to just kick their butts.
I don't follow that team.
I mean, to build off that, I don't really follow them either, but Purdue doesn't have anyone good enough to sit out. Like, that'd be a joke.
That'd be like someone for Indiana sitting out right now, right?
Yeah, literally, exactly, spot on. Yeah. Purdue, maybe the second most fraudulent 8-4 team of all time. Did Ole Miss go 8-4?
I think they did.
Or did they go 9-3?
8-9, 8-7, 12. Hold on, I'll tell you. You keep talking.
All right. But anyway, Purdue, one of the more fraudulent teams to ever exist. I mean, if we look back at some of their games, right? Like, they lost to Syracuse. Syracuse? Go Orange. But Syracuse? Bad football team. They beat Florida Atlantic, no longer coached by Lane Kiffin. They beat them by 2, 28-26. October, Purdue had a really good month. Okay. They beat Minnesota. Sure. They beat Maryland. Sure. Whatever. Both those teams are a joke. They beat Nebraska by 6 at home. That can't happen. And then they lost to Wisconsin with an interim coach. Then they lost to Iowa 24-3.
Who can't even put up points? How did Iowa put up 24 points?
I think there were 2 pick sixes.
We talked about it earlier. Their defense solid.
Yeah. But then Purdue beat Northwestern 17-9. Northwestern lost to Southern Illinois. Come on, you got to beat them better.
Northwestern isn't even good. Aren't they the worst Big Ten team in?
Easily, yes. And then Purdue went into Bloomington and they won 30-16. But you know what? If my guy Dexter Williams III didn't get his knee torn apart on the field, I mean, just completely torn apart. We don't even know what happened to him. His entire knee is just still in Memorial Stadium. IU would have won that game. And Purdue would have never made the Big Ten championship game. So I just think that Purdue is one of the more fraudulent teams to ever exist. And I don't think that you could ever find a reason to bet on them here, especially considering they just lost their head coach.
Oh, I forgot that also happened. Yeah, there's no
Yep.
reason to pick them in this
Brown
game.
is at Louisville.
Jeez. Coach, you got anything to add?
I just can't take that team.
Fair enough. Let's move on. Oh, also,
Absolutely.
yes, Ole Miss did go 8-4.
Okay, so Purdue's the second most fraudulent 8-4 team ever.
Go Tigers. We have Penn State against Utah. Penn State is plus 2.5, plus 108 in the money line. Totals at 52. I'm on Utah here just because, good vibes. Utah and the Utah has Penn State. Can't tell you why I don't like them. Just don't like them.
So I actually had Penn State and switched it. I think Cam Rising just he plays well stepping up to the occasion.
Is he playing?
Oh God, I hope so.
Has to.
Yeah. He needs to keep helping his stock.
That was partially my angle too.
Yeah, I like Cam Rising. I think they're gonna. If he doesn't play, I would go Penn State. But if he's,
I think he's coming back. So I don't.
Yeah, I was about to say
there's
there's not a lot of reason for a lot of QBs to come out this year.
No, he's not really an NFL type guy anyway. He's not big. He's kind of
He's one of those heart guys. He's got all the heart.
Exactly. He's a heart guy. Yeah. I took Penn State here just because I think it's going to be a good game, and I'll take the points. I think this will be a really fun game to watch.
Absolutely,
two really good teams.
Perfect time for a lock dog and
no, sir.
No,
Let's talk about the playoff.
The playoff.
I got y'all.
On New Year's Eve.
I was gonna say psych.
No, you weren't.
What?
What?
You waited a long time to do it. Brendan probably had clicked over to Lock Dog Tees already.
And then I clicked back.
Oh yeah, psych.
Psych. What game y'all want to talk about first? TCU or TCU?
Yes,
all right.
Yeah.
We have TCU against Michigan. TCU's plus 7.5. Totals at 58.5. We are all on the Horned Frogs. Love seeing that.
Max Duggan should have won the Heisman. And I stand by that. Love TCU here. I don't see how they lose by more than 8. I don't even know how they lose. Win. I think they'll win.
I think they win.
So, David hates Michigan. So, go ahead, David.
I don't hate Michigan. I hate Michigan fans. They're the most self-entitled fans to ever exist without winning anything in their existence. Michigan has had a really good season, but they had a running back who finished, I think 6th in the Heisman voting, who is not playing. He's just not playing. Corum's not playing in this game. And so for that reason, I think that TCU has the advantage. Max Duggan is an absolute dog. You're going to bet against Max Duggan here? No chance. I'll take TCU all day here because Michigan, as much as they've blown pretty much everyone out, I mean, they've won every game by 2 touchdowns other than that Michigan or that Illinois game that they almost lost. I just don't think they're better than TCU. TCU has shown all year that they're able to stand up against really good competition. Even if it's close at the end, they're able to pull through. So I actually love TCU money line.
Dude, Max Duggan was the most efficient QB in all of football this year.
Yeah, he's incredible. He's good.
I don't know. How did he not win the Heisman?
It's crazy because Caleb Williams had the narrative.
Yeah,
that's true.
He'll be back next year.
Yeah, but the thing with the Heisman voting is I think the voting opened after the last week of the regular season. So I think people started voting for Caleb Williams before the Utah game ever happened in the conference championship game. And once you submit it, it's just there forever. So I think
Well, that's annoying.
if that didn't happen, if they kept it open, if they didn't open it for another week, then Duggan probably wins it. Because even though they lost that conference championship game, his effort against Kansas State,
He brought them back in that game single-handedly.
it was incredible, dude. That game was incredible.
It was one of the best games I've watched in a long time.
That game was awesome.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Go Duggan. Bring it home. We have Ohio State against Georgia. Ohio State's plus 6.5. Totals at 62. Ohio State is plus 215 on that money line. The Dogs, man. They're too much.
They're so good.
They're so good.
Yeah, I don't. I have nothing to say. They're just gonna. If they don't win it all, I'd be surprised.
The only way Georgia loses this game if they shoot themselves in the foot.
I disagree.
And Ohio State capitalizes.
What do you mean you disagree? Go ahead.
So I think this Georgia team might be better than last year's Georgia team.
So why are you against them?
But I think CJ Stroud is the single best quarterback in college right now.
I won't argue that.
And I think of any of the 4 playoff teams, he has easily the best weapons. Even with
I won't argue that.
Even with JSN out, he still has the running back duo, which I think both of them should be healthy by this game.
Marvin Harrison Jr.
He has Marvin Harrison Jr.
Such a dog.
He's got a couple other wide receivers that we don't even know the names of, but they're 5 stars and they're incredible. And the other teams in this playoff don't have that. Even Georgia, they're not pulling in 5-star receivers. Most of their 5 stars are on the defense or on the offensive line. So I think just the skill positions around CJ Stroud and him being the single best quarterback, I think they're going to rely on him a lot. I don't think they win, but I think they keep it close. I think this, even if it's a backdoor cover, I think it comes down to 1 or 2 touchdowns at the end of the game. But Georgia is, they're by far the best team in college football. Just team, all around team.
Yeah.
If it comes down to 1 or 2 touchdowns, then wouldn't you go with the team that's better by a touchdown?
I'm going with the better quarterback.
Okay.
And by New Year's Eve, I could 100% be betting Georgia in this game.
It's crazy though, because we say the better quarterback, but that's the same logic. That's a similar logic to what me and Brendan had last year betting on Alabama against Georgia.
Yeah.
And then that dude, and they lost.
See, I see what you're saying there, but Georgia's defense last year, it may have been the best defense in college football history.
Yeah, it's very well.
And they had seen Bama in the SEC championship game,
That's
so
true.
they had a scouting report ready. Whereas Ohio State hasn't played in a month now. They haven't played since that Michigan game. So I think they should come out firing. They've got a second life here because they were not expecting to be in this.
No, they weren't. Now is a perfect time for a luck, dog, and tease. Jay, what you got?
Yeah, so my lock is Alabama minus 6.5. I kind of want to change it. Can I change it? I'm going to change it.
You can change it.
Go for it.
Yeah, I'm going to go Ohio minus 1. I'm going to go Maction.
Let's go.
I'm going to go Maction.
Maction,
I like
baby.
Maction. My dog is Tulane. I think I've been rolling with Tulane as a dog almost all year. Every time they're a dog, and when they're a favorite, I still have them as a favorite. I think they're just a great team. My tease is TCU plus 14.5, Tulane plus 9.5, Alabama basically pick them, Georgia pick them, LSU minus 7.5, and Utah plus 4.5.
David, what you got?
All right, for my lock, I've got Maryland, the Maryland Terrapins, against NC State. Again, NC State did not finish the season very strongly, and you just can't bet against the Tagovailoa in a big game. So I'll take Maryland there. For my dog, I've got South Carolina. Spencer Rattler, one of the hottest quarterbacks in the country at this point. I just don't see a way that they lose this game. And then for my teas, I've got Florida State -2.5, Minnesota -2, Texas Tech +10.5, TCU +14.5, Ohio State keeping it close at +13.5, and then Clemson crossing over 0-2 +1. What you got, B?
My lock is Mississippi State +1. RIP Coach Leach. No way they lose that game. For my dog, I have TCU moneyline. Max Duggan all the way. Riding that train till it falls off. For my teaser, I have TCU +14.5, Tennessee +13, Notre Dame +5, better program, Washington +11. Michael Penix gonna do his thing. I got Syracuse +16.5. Hopefully, it's enough points. And I have Texas Tech +10.5. Go Red Raiders. As always, thank you for tuning in, listening, watching, wherever you might be listening. Please give us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts or give us a review in general and just let us know whether we suck or whether we're great. And definitely stay tuned as there will be a giveaway after the upcoming year. So yeah, make sure you give us that 5-star review and there might be a giveaway in store later on. Be sure to listen in. As always, we'll see you in the next one.
See ya.